destination. Their voices may be soft and somewhat quiet, but their message is loud and powerful and drawing crowds along the way.
Yeah, tonight our Katie Lusso is in Stafford County, where the monks stopped tonight on their 2,300-mile peace walk to D.C.
And just take a look at this crowd here. People just lined up, all just hoping to catch a glimpse, be in the presence of these monks as they inch their way closer to Washington, D.C.
The monkey that is jumping here and there in our mind.
Friday night, hundreds packed in tight to listen during a peace gathering with the monks in Stafford County just an hour earlier. Crowds lined Courthouse Road to welcome them to town. The monks began their 2,300-mile journey in October, walking from Fort Worth, Texas to Washington, D.C., making stops along the way. Thursday night in Spotsylvania County, Friday in Stafford County.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see this.
It's absolutely amazing. It's moving and it's very powerful.
In an hour, we were like, okay, meet you at 11. Let's get in the car and drive. This is a historic moment for sure.
Brianna and Laura making the trip down from New York.
Everyone's hearing it. You can feel it.
They're like great people, like wise people, you know.
Jackson and Kennedy Clark came with their parents.
My mom, she was just basically like, hey, I think the monks are right here, so we should go see them. And we was like, yeah, that's a great idea. It'll encourage us to be like peaceful and great, because I feel like that encourages other people to be peaceful.
For some, the experience emotional.
I feel like it just shows a lot of like perseverance and courage. So anybody that's going through something, you know, that you're going to get through it. And this brought so many people together for it, and that's just really amazing.
Many adding these crowds show there's a need.
There's so much protest and tension in the world, and this is a different kind of tension that's like, we can actually do something with this.
We're all brothers and sisters. I have 3 sisters. We fight. It doesn't mean that we can't figure it out at the end of the day.
And they'll be making many more stops along the way in Prince William, Fairfax, and Arlington counties. And you can track them every step of the way on this live tracking map. Now, I've put a link for you to this map on our website, WUSA9.com. In Stafford, I'm Katie Lusso, WUSA 9.
For the first time in their walk for peace, we're hearing from the Buddhist monks. After 3 months on foot from Texas to D.C., tonight they're in Virginia.
Yeah, truly incredible. Their journey has captivated millions of people nationwide, and it's set to finally come to an end next week. They sat down with our Cindy Persing tonight in Stafford to reflect.
Well, these monks, they have traveled more than 2,000 miles now, all in the name of peace, often in extreme heat or bitter cold. They did it hoping to help people. But I learned tonight even they were taken back by quite how many people needed them.
The monks' mission was simple: walk far and in turn promote peace.
The message they're spreading in the world right now is so needed. I felt like this is where I needed to be. I felt like this is what the world needed.
As simple as it was, that mission, it has moved millions of people who followed the monks' cross-country journey online and on city streets, desperate to witness and be a part of something so pure.
Seeing so much people coming out, that tells me that people really need help.
Friday night, I sat down with Venerable Panyakura in Stafford ahead of the final leg of his journey. He told me he'd seen so much suffering. He thought the walk might prompt peace, slow people down. Still, he never expected this response.
I have encountered many people who come to me and said, "You saved my life during this walk." And that shocked me, because we simply just walk.
If there are viewers of ours who are lonely, who are hopeless, who are suffering, what would your message to them be?
Get a piece of paper and a pen, write out the statement and say, "Today is going to be my peaceful day."
Peace, he told me, is something we have to practice. So his message: make your bed, don't start your morning on the phone, breathe, stay focused, and accept.
Peace is very simple, but we expect too much.
The monks began their march in October from Texas and will complete it next week in Washington. He prays, though, it will only end literally, not figuratively.
We truly hope that people will continue this walk for their life.
And he also told me that they chose our nation's capital as their final destination, hoping that that might help spread the word of their mission. But as you just saw there, they've already had so much success in reaching people nation and worldwide.
This trip is important to the church, period, and to all of us who value our interfaith relationships, and for any folks who are trying to do something positive in this day and age that are some difficult times. And these monks, you can see the hunger that people have for expressions of hope and peace and compassion. And you can tell by the gatherings along the road that they are touching the hearts and souls of people as they walk across the country. And we're thrilled to welcome them. They are doing on the road much some of the work that we try to do at the cathedral as well, as a house of prayer for all people.
And what is the National Cathedral planning once the monks do arrive?
Well, the monks will arrive, they're walking, so the schedule's flexible. But the monks are scheduled to arrive on the 10th at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon and stay till about 3. We're expecting such a large crowd that the program with the monks will be held outside on the steps of the cathedral. And then after that program and the monks address the crowds, we will take a large group of interfaith leaders from around the area inside the cathedral along with the monks for a more intimate conversation. So they should be with us from about 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock. That's the plan. And we're excited to welcome them and to show them some of our hospitality.
So let's talk about recommendations for the public, because the event outside is open to the public. What do you want them to know?
Want them to know is that it's still snowy outside. It's still cold. So if you're going to try to come, we welcome you, but dress appropriately. We will try to hold as much of the crowd in front of the cathedral as we can, and we look forward to seeing you. It will be, as has been with the crowds throughout this walk, it will be, everyone has to kind of go with the flow, but we're excited to welcome people to the cathedral.
I know that the overall focus of this walk is peace, but beyond that message, what are you hoping people get out of this experience?
Well, I hope not only the peace, the sense of the importance of peace and compassion and kindness, but I hope folks see that there is a great deal of affection between the cathedral, the Episcopal Church, of which we are a part, other Christians, other faith leaders, as we gather around common cause. And that common cause is something wonderful and important, and something all the great world religions stand for: peace and compassion and kindness. And so to gather together and to celebrate that and to pray for that and to work for that is a real blessing.
All right, Episcopal Priest Dean Randy Hollerith, we thank you so much for joining us from the Washington National Cathedral.
Look, look, who are these moving along the roads, with gentle steps and soft smiles on their faces, whether under sun or rain along the way. They walk on day and night out with such quiet grace. Step by step they travel thousands of miles, carrying a resolve so strong as they move ahead. We hear them speak the message of peace. Come, come everyone, we shall not miss. Look, look, who are these walking the roads? We see them even before the sunrise glows. Look, look, who are these walking the roads? We see them even through Vegas storm. They carry no shields of war, no swords in hand, only a dog beside them, its name Aloka. Is that why crowds rise along the way, with flowers held high like banners of love and kindness? Look, look, who are these moving along the roads, with gentle steps and soft smiles on their faces, whether under sun or rain along the way. They walk on day and night out with such quiet grace. What waits for them at the journey's end, who knows? They have myth itself their home. Feet weary, bloodied, yet the journey does not end. Have they not already overcome all pain? Look, look, who are these moving along the road? With gentle steps and soft smiles on their faces. Whether under sun or rain along the way, they walk on day and night out with such quiet grace. Look, look, who are these moving along the roads? With gentle steps and soft smiles on their faces. Whether under sun or rain along the way, they walk on day and night out with such quiet grace.
Good evening from high within the Trinity Alps. Welcome to Live from the Hermitage. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This is an incredibly auspicious and important and historic episode of Live from the Hermitage, guys. We have been tracking now the Walk for Peace since before Christmas, and you can look in the podcast archives to see all the episodes going back. We started every episode with an update and videos and songs. I think what really blows me away is that every week we've had hi Weeble Wobble, hi everybody, by the way, hi Ms. Irene, Weeble Wobble, a win song. Stick around if you guys get into the raffle, exclamation point raffle. We got I wish I had the pictures. It's the one thing I forgot to do tonight was to get pictures of the Terra Windhorse prayer flags that we're giving away tonight. But if you can picture them, they're very small. I'm gonna first of all say they're very diminutive. So maybe like this long. Yeah, about that long maybe. And they are approximately 11 by 11 centimeters. The flags themselves. So it's a diminutive but very nice set of Tyro Windhorse prayer flags. Good for like an office or for a small prayer shrine in your home that you have going on. So exclamation point raffle. And next week I'll make sure I got pictures of them for people to see. But you can pretty much picture just pretty standard prayer flags. Just they're small ones. They're tiny. So get in the raffle. Update for the Walk for Peace, guys. It's huge, and for once, it's not like sort of like semi bad news because everybody's doing fine. And guys, we made it. DC is here. It's literally here. I've been preparing for this for a while. In fact, this entire episode is dedicated to their arrival in DC. We're going to talk about it quite a bit, and we have dates and times. So I can tell you for sure that probably, and this is tentative, and it's subject to change based on what the monks are doing. And as the head of the Episcopal Cathedral in DC mentioned, they're walking, so the schedule is flexible. But I think they've left enough room in it that it's pretty reliable. So we'll go live at around 1 p.m. On the 10th, and we'll plan on us streaming at least until 3. And the point will be to gather for us as a Sangha, and also to sort of, we'll watch. There'll be live streams, I'm certain of it, and we'll tune them in and watch them together at the National Cathedral. The program is scheduled to continue, I believe that on the 11th, I think. And again, this will all tentative, and I'll make announcements as I formalize everything. Follow the channel, subscribe, and also I have a lot of social media like X and Blue Sky and stuff like that where you can get updates. And like I said, I will be all over this, and so you can check those updates for what I'm going to do for my coverage of this event. And I'm sure that I'm not going to be the only podcaster covering this event. So, you know, I've got competition, so come and watch my stream. We'll come let's gather together and we'll watch them, what they do in DC. But so anyway, the update would be that as we just heard, the National Cathedral, which I think in a lot of ways is the big one, at least for me. I'm a deeply religious person. People who have talked to me and know me know that I'm deeply devout. I love my religion. I love religion in general. I studied comparative religion in college, so I'm very passionate about this, and I'm very, very delighted that they're being received first at the National Cathedral. I think that's I guess appropriate, I guess perfect, really. And so I look very, very forward to that program. As far as I know, guys, brace yourselves now. I'll be the only one. I'm going to say that I won't be the only one. That's what you meant, Ms. Irene. Team Dharma Bomb. Thank you, Weeble Wobble. Everybody, come on, get a prayer flag. Get into the raffle, guys. Exclamation point raffle. Come on, Weeble. Did you get your flipping rosaries yet? Oh my God, dude. Let us know if you got your rosaries. Anyway, so the National Cathedral on the 10th, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I assume that's Eastern Standard Time, so I'll convert that and announce that into Pacific Time for my stream. I'll get this all going as we roll out of the weekend and into this event, which is only a couple of days away. So, but count on the 10th, 2 days from now, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll go live and attempt to cover as best we can the live coverage of from the cathedral. The next one, guys, on the 11th is kind of astounding. But hey, can you guys chill? It's just other doggies, guys. They're miles away. Thank you. I'm trying to do like big, important, epic news here, puppies. Oh my goodness. My co-host not very helpful tonight. All right. So, guys, they're going to do the Lincoln Memorial. I'm just going to drop it right there. Say something in the chat, guys, because they're going to do the flippin' Lincoln Memorial. I mean, can you just... I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that where MLK spoke from? Right? I mean, it faces the mall, right? Can you guys chill? I'm talking to people here. Thank you. Xavier, there's no need. They're very far away. They're not coming up here. Based on the numbers that we've been seeing, guys, like the last numbers we reported last week were tens of thousands of people gathering for these folks, following them. Now, so the Lincoln Memorial on the 11th. And who knows what else, because here's the thing about the Lincoln Memorial news. Lisa's, my sis has Zen has a tracking number. We'll keep up on the rosaries. We're gonna get everybody their prizes, by the by. You got my word. And we got one going to Ireland, which is probably gonna take about a year to get there. I mean, I just can't even imagine. We had to fill out customs forms to send the last week's rosary out. So, but this week we're going to prayer flags. and we're going to maybe switch back and forth between rosaries and prayer flags as far as giveaways, guys. And as I get more ideas, as I find more things also that sort of fit the price point that we can afford for prizes, we're going to add to the giveaways. I think it's really cool. I'm like the only Buddhist podcaster out there who has swag. You know, I figured out the swag thing for Dharma podcasters. Hold on, excuse me. I'm very excited, guys. So you gotta don't mind me, because this has been a long time coming, and this has really moved me. I have spent hours talking about this online, and part of that time crying. I mean, I am so moved that I am continuously moved to tears. It is unlikely I get through this episode. If you're new to the show, just so you know, it's unlikely I'll get through this episode without crying at some point. Although I try to do it during the song so that nobody sees me. And then I dab up and clean up and then come back on like I'm perfect again, you know. But I'm like bawling my eyes out during some of these during segment. And we got a break song today, guys, because I'm so excited that we are gonna do extra content on them too. So we'll take a break at about the 1 hour mark and do another song, and then of course we got a closing song. So the Lincoln Memorial, guys, I mean, that's just, I don't know, when I heard that was bombshell. So we're going, you know, we're talking about the National Cathedral. We already talked about that's huge. That's a big thing, right? I mean, really, that's my heart, right? And then, guys, the Lincoln flipping Memorial. I mean, there could be like 500,000 people there. Seriously. There's no reason why there couldn't be. I predict there could be 100,000 people at the National Cathedral and 500,000 at the Lincoln Memorial. Okay? There's more, guys. This is huge. It just gets better. Okay? Now, I want to pause here just to talk about the itinerary. Lincoln Memorial on the 11th, right? And we'll find out the times, and we're going to stream that as well. You know, power and weather permitting up here. I am on the side of a mountain, so everything in life is tentative. But they have said from the beginning, now I don't know if they plan on doing this, because it would be gigantic. Okay? But if anybody who knows D.C., okay, so the Lincoln Memorial faces the mall. That's where they'll gather. And that's why there could be technically even millions of people. There's literally absolutely no reason why there couldn't be 1 million people on the mall for them at the Lincoln Memorial. But I predict maybe at least probably 500,000 would be my hope and guess. Now, there's another piece of news that I'm going to talk about in sequence here, but it's going to be bigger at the Lincoln Memorial than you can imagine, even at the cathedral, because there's another layer to this that we haven't talked about. But let's just say there's going to be more people walking with them than just them, like formally walking with them in the little line that they do. Now, they have said from the beginning, consistently in video interview after video interview, they have said consistently that their destination for this walk is the White House. Okay, so understand the geography again of D.C. You've got the Lincoln Memorial, and you're facing out onto the mall, and then along the side of that is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. You can literally, and it's like four lanes, 6 lanes. And there have been millions of people, inaugurations, all kind of reasons why there could be millions of people on Pennsylvania Avenue. I'm not saying they're going to do this, because this is just me in my head. This is no indication other than the fact that the lead monk has consistently said that the goal is the White House, and that's not the Lincoln Memorial. As cool as the Lincoln Memorial is, it's not the Lincoln Memorial. So, I don't know. Right? I mean, and if those monks do decide to walk up Pennsylvania Avenue. It'll be very coordinated, and they have such the amazing relationship with law enforcement. I promise you, they will be well protected, well cared for, and untouched as they march, if they choose to, up Pennsylvania Avenue to the White House. Now, there's a park there too, where another gathering could form. And then, it's always kind of been my hope, I guess I've leaked this a couple of times, I've talked about this a couple of times, perhaps out of an abundance of kind-heartedness, an abundance of appreciation and respect for what these men have done, how they have not been co-opted by either side. No, what surprises me is the liberals didn't manage to co-opt this. But not being co-opted by either side, they could be received at the White House. Like, received. And I promise you, they've got like all kind of cultural sensitivity people working for the White House. Everything will be perfect. They will be received in perfect Buddhist form, whoever receives them there. I promise you that, because the White House just doesn't mess stuff like that up. They got some of the best people working on cultural sensitivity and stuff like that. So, I mean, they would be received properly and with the respect due to our monks, right? But I see no reason that couldn't happen. And again, this is only evidence I have of this. Last part that I just said is just the fact that, again, this monk has consistently said that the destination for the Walk for Peace is the White House, not Washington, D.C., the White House. And I guess if anybody wants to challenge me on it, I could like show a bunch of video clips in a row of him saying that. But there's many times, many interviews that I've listened to where he has said clearly that his goal is the White House. So I don't know, just it's going to be exciting, guys. No matter what happens, the 10th and the 11th are going to be one of the most exciting times to be a Buddhist in America. Maybe in our lifetimes, I don't know. I mean, finding the Dalai Lama in a Tibetan community in the United States or something like that would be like equivalent. I think I can't imagine like a moment in Buddhist American history that would be brighter, more important, where our ideals of peace and compassion and loving kindness would have a bigger stage than the 10th and the 11th. I don't know, guys and gals. I really just don't know if we'll. This is history. It's not only history, but it's epic history. Okay, so I got a final piece of the news. Though this is the final piece of the puzzle, and this is kind of huge too. A lot of you out there may know that I want to become a monk. I love monks. I want to be one. And I spent a lot of time last night with Rob's community. And by the way, if anybody's here from Doc Rob's audience, welcome. Say hi in the chat. Everybody get into the raffle for the prayer flags, ! raffle. But here's the thing. They put out a call, guys. A very specifically worded invitation. They have called for any monastic, I believe male or female, any Buddhist monastic, male or female, of any school, to formally join the Walk for Peace. And what that means is that you notice how they are kept separate, and there's protocols. You're not supposed to approach them when they're walking, stuff like that. They keep people back, a good amount, and only if they reach for something do you then reach it in and give them the item or whatever, the donation. There's protocols, right? So we're not talking about just maybe walking along on the sidewalk like people are going to be, or behind them like with police keeping them separate, kind of walking with them. We're talking any monastic in the world who wants to join them beginning on the 10th. And I believe that that will include the walk into the National Cathedral. I believe it includes that part. So, I mean, try to picture this, guys. Try to wrap your minds around this. You could be looking at a scene at the National Cathedral with 100,000 people and a procession of Buddhist monastics that could be hundreds long, solemnly entering our National Cathedral on the 11th. That's what you're definitely looking at. I mean, that's in the works. The call has gone out. If I were a monastic and I had any possible way to get there in time, I promise you I would be one of those people joining them at the end. And that to me was one of the most breathtaking news all in the last couple of days, was the call out to, because that's going to make for because it's one thing to have, how many are they? And maybe my sister can help me, like 10 or 13, I don't know how many of them there are, right? But a dozen of them, right? It's been only them all the way across. And that would have been a statement enough for all of us, for all of Buddhism in America, right? They were standing for us. They were Buddhist monks, pure and simple, right? But that, wow. I mean, there'll be Tibetan monks. There'll be Zen monks. They will be Theravada monks, Southeast Asian, the Mahayana, the Japanese. There will be so many. It will be unbelievable. I mean, this is so viral. There is not a human being in America, even those in hermitages like me, who have not heard about this. So I'm gonna toss them out the door. What are we at? 32 minutes. I'm going to do a Bono's break for these guys. I think they need to go outdoors. So we'll do the break song now. Whatever. I'm the boss. I can do the break whenever I want, and then I'll go through the chat when I come back. But unbelievable, guys. Stay tuned and talk about this, because this is, I mean, be proud. Be proud. If you're a Buddhist out there, let your heart beat proud, guys. Let's do a song, and then my dog should be calmed down when we get back.
We rise before the daylight breaks, dust on our feet, hope in our hands. Long roads stretch beyond our sight. Your kindness shows us where to stand. Through towns and fields, through joy and pain, we carry more than what we see. Every step a quiet vow to walk with love, to walk as one. When the world feels torn apart and hearts grow tired, afraid and weak, we remember why we walk, because peace begins with me. We walk for peace, step by step, through the cold, through tears, through time, not to escape this wounded world, but to heal it one heart at a time. We walk for peace, hand in hand. Let compassion be our way, from silent prayers to open arms. Peace is born in how we walk each day. Strangers become familiar faces, sharing water, warmth and truth. Stories spoken without words, in gentle smiles and worn out shoes. We listen more than we explain. Let stillness teach us how to see that every soul we pass along is walking to just differently. In the weight of history's scars and the echoes of old pain, we choose not anger, not despair, but love. walk for peace, step by step, through the doubt, through night and rain, not chasing dreams that live far off, but planting hope where we remain. We walk for peace, breath by breath, let mindfulness light the way. In every pause, in every step, peace is practiced, not just prayed. Peace is not somewhere else, not a finish line ahead. It lives in how we listen, in every word we never said. When we soften our reactions, when we choose to understand, the world begins to change its course through the kindness of our hands. Children laugh along the road, elders bow with knowing eyes, different faiths, one shared wish to let suffering slowly subside. We bless the ground beneath our feet and those who walk with us in spirit, for no one walks this path alone when love is what we carry. We walk for peace side by side, not perfect but awake and true. Every step a living prayer, for me, for them, for you. We walk for peace today right here, in families, streets and homes, because the path to peace on earth is walked by human hearts alone. So when the road feels long and hard and the world feels heavy still, just breathe, be kind, take one more step. That is how we walk for peace.
All right, we're back. The dogs are no quieter, but they at least are not going to pee or poop in the tent, so that's a good thing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. This is why is nobody getting in the raffle? Don't you guys like prayer flags? Don't tell me I bought all these prayer flags and you guys don't like prayer flags. Why is nobody like exclamation point raffle, all one word? Get in the raffle, guys. Ms. Irene, get yourself a set of prayer flags. I don't think you've won one yet. Yeah, it's the doggies. Zadie has suddenly fallen in love with the big giant puppy, which is funny because I thought the Chihuahua would be the hardest one. Like, I thought it would take the most time for them to bond. And like, I woke up this morning and the puppy's laying there with his head on his front paws, and Xavier is bathing his entire head. Like, I was just, they're like ridiculously in love now. So, and they play for hours on end. It's really semi-annoying, but kind of fetching and cool too at the same time. But guys, please don't tune out, because tonight is a big show and lots to talk about. This is going to be historic and epic, and I'm going to try to bring it to you in every bit of it that I can. And so I'll even have like, hey Bruno, seriously dude, that's really obnoxious. No, Bruno, stop. Oh my god, kid. You're the worst drama queen of the three of them. Shut up. But I'm going to do the best I can to bring it to you and bring it to you in a really interesting way. I'll try to make sure that I'm aware of all the different stream possibilities, so you guys can just sit there and relax, and I'll flip through all the different cool streams and whatever, relay any information to you, and then we can all sit and, just be together, guys, because this is, like I said, as American Buddhists, this is a moment I think that you'll tell your grandchildren that you were there as a Buddhist when this happened. I mean, this is going to, and I really think it's going to shake up the general landscape of religion in this country. I'll be honest with you, not to, I know that we're not a proselytizing religion and everything like that. I get that. And there's no competition or anything, but I'm starting to get a lot of inquiries, guys. you know, I'm starting to see a lot of inquiries on social media. Exactly how do I become a Buddhist? Just asking for a friend. You know what I mean? So I think that I think that we're on the cusp of something really, really cool. As an American Buddhist, it's neat to have this. And everybody, I think all of us needed a pick-me-up, but especially Buddhists in general, because we do tend to take the hatred and the divisiveness more. We're more sensitive to it. To the pain of it. It pains us to see our world in turmoil like that. And so, it's just, I think it's a great moment. It's just an incredible moment in American history and Buddhist history. And I'm glad that I could be alive and be part, and just be even tangentially a part of it. Even just to give them proper, independent media coverage that I've been trying to do, real regular. I think my family and my hardcore fans can vouch that I've been really putting an effort in to try to get the word out and to try to get accurate information. And I'm sure I've got updates, guys. We'll read some updates out of the phone. I'm going to actually catch up on the chat. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. I see some people getting in the raffle, but not many, guys. Come on, get in the raffle. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning of chat and scroll through it all. So again, hello, Ms. Irene. Hello, Winsong. Hello, Weeble. I will find out what happened to the rosaries. We'll make good on that, one way or another. Small is good for my camper van. Oh, it's perfect for a van. It's literally perfect. I wish I had a picture, because I got one hanging right outside the door here. It's one of the first things I hung in the camp when we dragged all the stuff up here. It was just a big pile of stuff, but I put the little itty bitty set of prayer flags that I carried for years in my little shrine kit. And like I said, the flags themselves are about that big each. So 11 by 11 centimeters. And then the length of them is, I don't know, about that. Maybe 2 or 3 feet, I think. Something like that. And they're very nice. They're just pretty standard Taro Windhorse, standard colors, everything. Very traditional, and I also make sure to buy from actual, indigenous sort of people. I think these came from Nepal, but they always come from, they're not knocked out in China or some print shop in South LA. They're real. Try to get the real deal if I can, and try to support people too that are, Buddhist craftsmen that make these flags. Good for a camper van. Yeah, it's perfect for a camper van. Yeah, everybody. I hope everybody tunes in. We'll try to give you the best coverage, because I know there's competition out there probably for who to watch with it, but stick with me, and I'm going to try to bring you the schedule on time, and bring you all the different streams, and give you everybody a good place to sit and watch it and talk about it as history unfolds in Washington, D.C. What an amazing thing to start from, Austin, Texas, where they barely got local news coverage and had maybe 20 people on the side of the road as they walked by, and to start packing stadiums before they get to DC. They packed one stadium. They've already had a gathering that was clocked at over 10,000. Many of them, actually, several of them near the end, gatherings that went more than 10,000 plus. So that's the largest number I've heard so far, but that was reliable. But that's pretty, it's pretty amazing for a bunch of very humble, you have to admit, these are true Laotian monks, and in true Laotian monastic style, they are very humble men. They are very unassuming people. It's so funny, but they literally, in churches along the way, that little local churches before that have hosted them, because it's not the first time they've been at a Christian church, they just camp on the front lawn. They literally just roll out on tarps even sometimes. Sometimes they didn't even set up tents. You would see them just sleeping there, they just put their robes over themselves and go to sleep, and then just get up in the morning and start walking. Got to get to D.C., got to go. You know what I mean? It's and Awoka's there, Awoka's with them, and I believe that Awoka will, I believe they've probably been saving Awoka's strength just for this. So I predict that at some point during the end walks in DC, Aloka will make an actual walking appearance, but it'll be planned, and there'll probably even just be like people there ready to scoop them right up and put them right back in the RV at the least sign of stress on him or anything. But I believe he will be allowed to, and probably when they enter the cathedral, that's when I would think they would maybe sneak him into the line and walk him right up the front, the main aisle of the National Cathedral. And there goes Aloka. You know what I mean? I believe that. I choose to believe that Aloka will have a token appearance at the end. He certainly has earned it to finish the walk. Can you go like chill, puppy? Gigantic like dog. What was the name of that dog? Marmaduke. That's what he reminds. I mean, honest to God, he's all legs and he's like over 50 pounds now, and he's like we haven't even had him like 2 months yet. He's like not even 4 months old. He's gigantic. That's the puppy news right there. All right, let me continue on with the chat. Teen Dharma Bum, thank you, Weeble Wobble. I really appreciate all the loyalty, guys. We're really trying to build an audience and get you guys to some good content. So. And then again today, got to give a shout out to Sis and my best bud Bone, who he had to come running back up the mountain again to to get the power packs. That today wasn't that great of a sunny day again, so we would not have the juice to do the show even if Bone hadn't come up the mountain and got the power pack. So everybody in chat say thank you to Bone for doing that for us tonight. And as usual, my sister included some dinner, which I, as usual, didn't have time to eat because I was flailing to get the show together. So Sis is on the tracking number for the rosary. Let's see. Let's read what Weeble says here. Right. It's powerful stuff. There's so much separation because news, politics, I feel spirituality, and at least peace and compassion will be more widespread. Well said, Weeble. Well said. And what I hope is, it sort of, I think, similar to what you're saying, but what I'm hoping is it makes peace cool again. Right? Because, I mean, for a while, it's wild because peace was always kind of cool when I was growing up. Like, I grew up in the 60s and the 70s when peace was wildly cool, right? I mean, it was okay to say that you were into peace, right? And you could get traction with that argument, right? But we had entered an age that it seemed to me in the last, I want to say like 10 years, where it just wasn't cool to be peaceful anymore. You didn't see any anti-war protests hardly anymore. You didn't see any resistance to aggression by the United States on the world stage, like military aggression. I mean, you didn't see any pushback. I mean, it was wild, but it just like peace lost its seat at the table. And what I'm sort of hoping that one of the many things that I'm hoping that will come out of this is that it will make talking about peace cool again. And I think if peace could just have a seat at the table, we would be able to get more traction and get people to listen to each other. And I talked about it last week, and we're going to talk about it a lot. As I said last week, we're going to talk about my ideas about this a lot more. I've been saving them up for DC. But what it means when they're not walking anymore. What do we do? And I got some ideas, but I'll save them again for the DC show. And I'm going to gather together for the coverage. I'm going to gather together all the songs. Somebody I think further on in the chat mentioned about the music. I think my sis mentioned about the music. So many ballads written, and they're not even done walking yet. I mean, usually they write your history and do the ballads and the documentaries like years later after you do something cool, right? But I mean, they're like. These guys are like moving people to some really epic music, and they're not even done yet, So that part has made my life really easy for creating content around the walk, actually. And I'm gonna gather up. I've got some favorites, and definitely along the way, and going all the way back to Christmas. And I've tried to do different songs every week, and I've always been able to find them. Like every week that we did a show about this, I've always been able to find like sort of new and different sort of music. So Well said, Weeble. It says, so Sis says some news on the Rosary. It's in transit. That's great. That's great to hear. It's not like gone into a black hole, but with the USPS, you never know. Yeah, I don't want him to get lost, but we'll figure all the giveaways out and how to get them to people. I think Mr. Ireland's going to be waiting a minute on his, but again, get in the raffle, guys. Exclamation point raffle. Shall we be free? Oh, wow. Very honored, Shelly. Very honored. That was a great stream last night. I had so much fun with you guys over there. Thank you for coming over. I hope you're still listening. Or whatever, tuned in. Great to have you, Shelly Be Free. Very honored. Good to see you. Chime up. Get into the raffle. Exclamation point raffle. Free set of Tarot Wind Horse prayer flags. Shelly's watching from Australia, which makes sense. I think I knew that actually from last night's stream. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, for those not like in the know, this is some of Dr. Rob's peeps, and I spent hours. I was over there for hours and had the most incredible time with his community, which I now consider my community. I've joined his Discord, and it's not the first stream of his I've been watching Rob since he was still a monk, but it was just really nice. It's very heartwarming to sort of meet his community for the first time, get an introduction, and get a chance to tell people a little bit about what we're doing up here with the Hermitage. And for those who of Dr. Rob's peeps who might be lurking, I just want to let you know what's going on up here, guys, is revolutionary in a sense. What I'm trying to do up here at the Hermitage, I'm trying to buck the trend of laissez-faire capitalism and how it has completely sort of corrupted one sort of aspect of American Buddhism, and that is the idea that wandering yogis would have some place to go, right? And they don't here, because once you renounce all your money and stop taking a bath, I guarantee you the doors of every retreat center on the West Coast are closed to you. I don't know about the rest of the country, but I'm pretty sure it's the same everywhere. Yeah, you can go retreat on the side of a mountain in a national park, which is fine. Padmasambhava did that. But I had 3 dogs, and so that option wasn't open to me, and that pissed me off. So I decided to do this project. And so now if you're a wandering yogi in the United States of America, and you've got a good practice and a decent teacher, and you just need someplace to go put up a tent and do your practice, you've got one right here at the Dharma Wheel Hermitage. And not only that, but we're going to do away with a lot of the silly rules too, like no dogs at retreat centers. That's done. You can bring your dog as long as he doesn't attack my dog. As long as you're not a hostile dog, you can bring him. And also, you look in the rules at these retreat centers and you find out you can't create content. They warn you, don't hook up to our Wi-Fi, don't live stream, and get permission before, whatever. You don't need permission. If you're a content creator, if Dr. Rob wants to come here and live stream, we will give him internet and really screaming broadband. I believe I've got pretty good internet. I believe I'm streaming okay tonight. So yeah, I mean, content creation, that's one of the things I had in mind, is that content creators, Dharma content creators, could come here and do Dharma content from the Dharma Wheel Hermitage. And it's going to be really nice up here, guys. It's not going to be fancy. There's not going to be any spas or swimming pools like they have at Land of Medicine Buddha down in Santa Cruz, okay? Not to embarrass anybody, but you're going to be able to have to put up a tent, really, and probably shit in a hole in the ground. But that's life. I mean that's reality. But you'll come up here and it'll be peace and quiet and beautiful mountain views, and most importantly, nobody's going to ask you for a whole bunch of money. We're going to just assume that people that come here don't have a whole lot of money, and because this is the place for you. That's kind of what Lama Choga is doing up in British Columbia, but more than ever, Canada is a world away for us here in the United States, and we need something like what Lama Choga is doing, but we need it down here in the United States. And so we're gonna do it, and with Dr. Rob's help and his community's help and support, it's just all the more powerful guaranteed that we're going to be able to do it. So let's keep on with the chat. I haven't even got to the bottom yet. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Exclamation point raffle. Get into the raffle for a free set of Tara Windhorse prayer flags. I read that Trump has no plans to acknowledge the monks, but who knows until the time comes. Well, I mean, we would hear if he had plans. So no news is good news. As far as I'm concerned, that means nothing. Because they might not necessarily tip their hand ahead of time either. There could be all sorts of concerns about that, including security. But, and then the other aspect of that is they may have, people like them, politicians, usually have backup plans on top of backup plans. So while they may have decided not to receive them, they may also have a backup plan for if they change their mind at the last second. They probably do. That's how politicians think, right? So, and if 500,000 or 1 million people start walking behind a line of hundreds of monastics up Pennsylvania Avenue, it's hard to believe. I mean, understand that, they want votes. There's elections, right? And they want votes. They're politicians. And the Buddhist vote counts. How better for conservatives in general to garner Buddhist support and gain more Buddhist votes than to receive these men with dignity. I would think they would at least be received at the Capitol, because certainly the Democrats in the legislature, in the House and the Senate, would have a lot to gain from receiving them. So it could be something where they're maybe not received at the White House, but they walk on to the Capitol or something like that. I don't know. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if anything happens beyond the Lincoln Memorial, because beyond that, it's all just speculation. I have no intel whatsoever that there's anything going on beyond the memorial. I think the memorial is going to be epic enough no matter what. Between the National Cathedral and the Lincoln Memorial, I think they got a lock on history. So, it would be enough, but we just see what the politicians are going to do, right? Because they haven't said anything. None of them, even the Dems, nobody is saying a peep. It's almost like they're scared of this. To be honest with you, they're making plans. They all make plans. They're connivers, right? So they're making plans. But here's the thing. I mean, they're not saying a thing. They are holding their cards super close to their chests, right? And that's wild. That's really wild, because I think it's actually, they dread this. Because this is something that can't be spun. This is something that can't be controlled, right? And I mean, so it can't even really be harnessed. It's beyond their pay grade, basically, as politicians, right? So they sound like they're eating each other, but they're not. They're just ruining my fucking audio. Hey, you guys, can you shut up? Even just try to shut up. They will eventually fall asleep. No plans. So there's my comment on that. Irene's in Canada. Well, we got all countries tuning into my show. That's wonderful. I love that. Can you stop, Xander? Don't need to chime in and make it worse, kid. Thank you. Yeah, we're way up. We're all up in the California mountains up here. In the Trinity Alps, actually. It's gorgeous up here. Spring is getting ready to sprung, and it's going to be. We get like 8 months of summer up here, guys. It's incredible. So and it's really crystal clear skies. The sun comes up, the sun goes down. In fact, the sun up here is generally so strong that it bleaches everything. It's wild. Like all your clothes gets bleached out and everything just in one summer. But it also makes a lot of electricity. Like the whole electrical shortage that I had today, that'll never happen again, starting in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, here the doggies wrestling. My wonderful pooches. Can you go? What do you think is going to happen, dude? Why are you even standing there staring at me? There's nothing going on. I'm doing my Saturday show. I do this every Saturday, dude. You know that. Once again, the bot doing his job, announcing the raffle, exclamation point raffle, guys. So many beautiful songs, yep. Ms. Irene getting in the raffle. Ms. Shelley getting in the raffle. Are you? I don't want to assume pronouns anymore. I'm not supposed to, right? So Shelley could be a boy. So Shelly is unknown pronoun. I have to be careful. My sister has been correcting me on these things. Great getting a ticket, guys. Weebles in, got a ticket. Everybody get a ticket. Oh, you didn't know how to do the raffle? Exclamation point raffle, but you're in. You're good. I'll double check anyway. I always read off the names that are in as we draw. We draw at the end of the show, guys. For the raffle, there's only 2 rules. Got to get 5 people in the raffle. I think we got that locked. And then you got to be here when I draw. No absentee like winning. You got to actually still stay to the end of the show. We do it usually during the last half hour. So there's that. Yeah, Shelly did it right. I lost my place. Where did it go? I missed something. Hold on, I gotta back up. I missed something important here. Ms. Irene's name, Iron Firehorse, means peace. My dad named me Irene because I was so calm and alert when I was born. That's beautiful. All I know is you're my most devoted fan. Like, ever. I don't think you missed a stream, like, when I, like, had no viewers at all. So Shelly Be Free says it was really needed at this time for America and the world. Well, yeah, that's, the thing. They couldn't come at a better time in the United States of America, right? I mean, we're at the cusp of 2 wars, 2 actual, like, hot wars with Venezuela and Iran. And we literally have 50% of America hates the guts of the other 50%. Literally, the hatred is between the political lines is, it's unbelievable. I've never seen it this heated. And I lived through the 60s. You know what I mean? When things were really heated. Lots of assassinations and stuff like that. But this doesn't even have any peace, love, music stuff on the fringes of it, to make it a little bit more palatable. I mean, this is just hate. It's just wild. I mean, it's a wild time to be in America. So, yeah, I mean, literally, this is a great time for peace again, to get that seat at the table and start being in the mix again. Somehow I haven't ended up losing my place. Peace Walk in Canada is what Ms. Irene is sort of talking about here. I don't know. That's up to you Canadians, really. I mean, if you're going to do it the way, precisely sort of the way it was done here, then you'd need to get some monks interested, or be a monk and get interested in doing it. I personally think that the very sort of disciplined way that they did it with monastics is a big part of how it succeeded in not getting co-opted. The way that they didn't, until the end, actually let people walk with them. You could not walk with them. And everybody was held back at arm's length. I actually believe that sort of lent itself to, I don't know, just a lack of chaos and also not getting co-opted. So you need monastics up there, and you got plenty of them. You got plenty of Buddhist monastics. I don't see any reason it couldn't be a walk for peace in Canada. I think there's going to be more from this particular group of monastics, monks. They've done them all over the world, and he's often hinted about how, we've got to keep doing it for the whole world. And so I think there could be more in the mix. Next time, maybe something like the United Nations or something in the Hague, right? Yeah, they're really like out of control tonight, guys. You totally ruining my show. Can you guys zip it? You're supposed to like be co-hosts. Yeah, I've got a Chihuahua at 15 pounds now because he's Christmas fat, but I'd like to get him down to 13 or 12. During the spring and summer, I try to work him down, but he gets fat during the holidays, during the winter. But he's about 15, and then Xander is about double that. He's 30 pound, stays right at 30 pound, and already the puppy is 50. Like, he towers over them, all 3 of them. So it's just ridiculous, hysterical, and obviously does not exactly lend itself to live streaming. But that's okay, guys. You're warned in the description of my channel that dogs might bark and yours might bark too if you got me on speaker. So now I'm going back down. I got all mixed up on the chat, guys, so I'm kind of jumping everywhere. My sis gets on me if I don't find every comment and answer everybody. I got like a strict taskmaster, man, down at the bottom of the mountain. Yeah, BC's a world away from me. I mean, he's got a pretty far-flung place. I mean, I am pretty far-flung. I'm going to say that if you come here, you're going to earn it, to get here. But, and at certain times of the year, you might even have to walk in, literally. There's times in the year where there's no vehicle, unless it's a tank, like a big giant four-wheel drive. But yeah, and that's the whole idea of we need to make more of these places. It's not, Lama Choga's place is fantastic. Everybody should support that. But that's pretty far flung, and that's going to only service and help so many people. Northern California is where 20% of all the Buddhists in the United States live. That's a demographic fact. The need here, I believe, is much greater, and there are many more itinerant yogis. There are actual itinerant yogis. I was not the only one out there living an itinerant yogi lifestyle out on the streets. So there's poor people, there's poor Buddhists who maybe got a little money, they can get here, but they can't afford $100 a night like Land of Medicine Buddha, right? So we're going to give them that option, right? And I'm going to have a nice prayer hall. We're going to have meditation platforms all over the property. There'll be places to put up tents, and there'll be one RV parking spot. We can accommodate one medium-sized or small-sized RV to come up as well. That's the plans for this year. Actually, is I guess Hermitage News. We're homing in on trying to get some grants, and we're going to try to do the driveway and the walkways. And that really, I'm going to do all the work myself, guys. I'm going to save a lot of money. All I need is a wheelbarrow and the gravel, and then I'm going to do shows. I'll show you. How you got your money's worth, but we're trying to raise $1,000. We're going to start the appeal next week to create a driveway, a parking pad for the RV, and to do a walkway because the property is a bit difficult to traverse in places. It's very rocky terrain, so we're going to do a nice walking way so people can get around without face planting onto a big lava rock, and that would be bad for everybody, including us, because we'd have to pay for your medical expenses. So anyway, yeah, Xavier is just they're getting crazy tonight, huh? I'm trying to. I can't seem to catch up. It keeps going. It keeps jumping around. Okay, let me read this one from Shelley. I don't think I've gotten it. That's a generous and awesome idea to care for wandering monks, nuns, opportunities for streamers. I like it. When I first heard about your project from the interview you had with Dr. Rob. Well, thank you, Shelley. Thank you very much for that. I'm really devoted to it, and we're going to do it. The one thing about this place, guys, is as Buddhist projects go, we are a cheap date. Really cheap. Like, you know what I mean, date. Because, I mean, shoot, guys, I only paid $5,000. And it will cost me perhaps less than $10,000 to finish the build out. And literally we're done. And so my goal is to finish that build out with grants and whatever, and have the place paid off, because, I mean, we're already down to like 4.8. I mean, the note is going down. And pay the note off, and then, monks aren't supposed to own private property. So I can't keep this place in my own name. And so what we want to do is donate it to, and it remains to be seen who it's going to be, but to a Sangha. To a Sangha that we can rely on to keep the covenant. And the covenant will be that I will be the warden here for life. I will die on this property. That they will find another warden after me to come live here. and take care of the place, and that it will remain a Buddhist hermitage, a Buddhist sanctuary, and remain in Buddhist hands. They can give it away or sell it, but it has to stay in Buddhist hands. It has to stay a hermitage in perpetuity. Because we're going to have nice stuff up here. Eventually, we're going to have stone Buddha statues. We're going to have time capsules that we're going to bury under the prayer hall and different monuments. We're going to do a lot up here, and we're making something that's, as Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead would say, built to last. Okay, and that's what I'm aiming for. And when I take the robes, the organization that has helped me and made those promises to me, we'll get this beautiful property, and by then it'll be worth a pretty penny, because once you start improving it, the price of the worth of this place skyrockets, and when I hand it over, it should be worth north of $30,000. So anybody who gives us grants isn't just, it's an investment. You know, if you're an organization interested in stewarding this place permanently, having it donated to you, fully built out, then giving us a few $1,000 grants to get that done is an investment, because it would be worth much more than that when it's handed over. And that's just money. That's just talking about dollars and cents. The value of it as a place of retreat, as a meditation center, I mean, you can't put a price tag on that. So, all right. So Shelly's a girl. Good. I'm glad I got that right. Again, I'm trying to catch up. But my chat keeps like jumping around. You are devoted. I love what you're doing. Thank you, Irene. Thank you so much. I'm trying really hard, and I really have fun doing this. You see, the thing about streaming, and it's always going to be the case, you're not going to be a good streamer if you don't love doing it. And I've been streaming for a lot of years. I've been doing podcasts and content in general for a long time. I'm not necessarily like that great at it, but my heart is in it. I really do love the showbiz aspect of it. I have fun. Like today, I was scrambling for the hour before the show to get everything ready for you guys, and I like that. I enjoy it. I enjoy even that. I enjoy even setting the shows up. So, and that's I think a big part of being entertaining and holding an audience is you've got to be enthusiastic about the situation, and I always am. I'm always stoked to meet people and to hang out, and so yeah. Thank you very much, sis. You can come get the widow baby any flipping time, and I don't even care which widow baby you're talking about. You can have all 3 widow babies right now. Send them up the mountain. Serious. Are you guys lucky I don't have a way to put you all outdoors somehow? Why are you all sleeping around me? What do you think's going to happen? I'm not... Oh my God, these guys. Okay, we'll do a Bruno shot, Ms. Irene, just for you. We'll get Bruno up in the mix in a bit. I don't know if I can lift him. I literally have difficulty now putting him in the cars and the pickup truck and stuff like that when we drive around and stuff. He's 50. He's north of 50 pounds, and that's about my limit. I'm 60 years old, and 50s. I mean, I can lift more if I have to save my life, but I mean, I normally try not to lift more than 50 pounds, and he's big. But we'll do the best we can. We'll see what we can do to pick him up and get him in the mix before the show is over, I promise. Welcome to somebody new. I just saw it. Oh, where did he go? I keep losing all my chat. Oh, there he is. JLM. We'll call you JLM. I trust you completely. Transparent, unlike some. Well, I thank you, JLM, for the comment. I do my best. This is the point of this kind of thing is not subterfuge. I would rather fail. You know, this is in a lot of ways, and my sister mentioned this the other day to me, but in a lot of ways, this was way more difficult than the 3 years that me and the boys spent living out of a wagon, living the homeless itinerant lifestyle on the streets, literally of the Bay Area. In a lot of ways, our life was way more carefree when we lived that way. And taking on this project has been, I think the biggest part, guys, is one of the things that we did that was special when we were homeless is that I decided to renounce money. In one sense, not renounce having money in my pocket, but renounce caring at all about it. At all. And so when we went out, we got up every morning at the crack of dawn, sometimes 4 a.m., most of the time 4 or 5 a.m. We packed up our little homeless wagon, all the gear, put it all back on the wagon, put Xavier in the front. He had a little basket to ride in the front of the wagon. You guys can see pictures of the wagon and even Xavier riding in it and stuff like that. There's videos and stuff in my channel from those days. We had the channel back then. What we did was very pure in a sense that we would then go out, and hopefully if I managed to save enough money from yesterday, I had enough to start my coffee and start my day. So we'd pull into a local shopping center, which was right there near where we stayed, and we would pull into this shopping center. It was a huge place. It was like a little town, and we'd pull in, and we had our favorite little coffee house, and I'd go in there and I'd get a Joe and maybe do some content real quick or whatever if I wanted to, and check the news, and then we would go around the shopping center. No, we weren't flying no signs. We weren't begging or talking to anybody, asking anybody for anything. And our goal, my mission would be, me and the boys, to just try to find people. And I mean, obviously we're probably not going to enlighten them right there on the sidewalk, but if we couldn't enlighten them, at least make them smile. At least bring a smile to their face. Now, I'm a crusty old man, and I'm only so good at that, but my boys are champs. They'll bring a smile to the most hardened cynic, right, out there. So, and we were fairly successful at that. We were fairly successful at making people just smile and pause in the middle of their busy day in that shopping center and smile. And then we would try, generally speaking, also try to be helpful. Shopping centers are, generally speaking, a mess with garbage everywhere. And that always sort of got to me sideways, and and I'm sure they got employees and people to go out there and pick that up, but a lot of the little businesses, like the family-owned businesses, maybe did not. And so we would just go to different businesses, and there was no quid pro quo here. We didn't go in and say, hey, if you give me $10, I'll clean your parking lot. We would just go clean their parking lot, and then maybe linger, or maybe not. We would just move on. And sometimes they helped, and sometimes that wasn't the point, if they helped us or not. And what began to happen as we went on, and this went on years, guys, that we were doing this. And so what began to happen at that point was kind of a good example of the power, the true power of karma. Because the less I cared about money, the only thing I cared about at the end of the day, and it always happened, was that I had a can of dog food for my boys, and I don't know, anything, a salad, a hot dog, anything in my belly. If I could lay down under my tree, my holly tree that we camped under every night, if I could lay down with a full belly for me and my dogs, I was good. Right? That was fine. That was a successful day. Successful mission. And we pulled, that wagon was heavy, and me and Xanda used to walk an average of 60 miles a month doing this. We tracked it on Google Maps, and we would walk an average. So it was good hard work in a sense to spread the quote unquote good news, right? But and what began to happen was interesting, because at first we did okay. We got what we needed, and we were also started to get a little extra. We started to grow the kit and have some nice gear, nice blankets, nice sleeping bag, nice little kitchen kit. We started to grow the kit and have be able to have nice gear on the wagon, all miniaturized and stuff. The wagon got better as we went along, solar panels, electricity, and eventually I was even able to start, doing the channel, doing the YouTube channel, because I had a tripod. I lashed it right to the side of the wagon, and my little microphone, and away I went, right? I even bought the laptop and everything, and so it began to grow from there, and then something remarkable happened. It began to grow beyond our needs. beyond any possible need that I could have living out of a wagon. And that is when this idea of the Hermitage began to gel. And I said, well, if I'm going to, I got to do something with that. I got to do something with it. I'm not going to spend it on luxury for myself when I've already renounced. I'm fine out of my little wagon. But what can I do with this excess of generosity? And so I came up with this idea, and I had ridiculous expectations that I could even find land at 5,000, because I knew that was my number. 5K, 5,000. That's all I could spend on said land to try this project. And that's a ridiculous number in the California land market, right? I mean, that's like, but I found it. I found one, and it's gorgeous. Literally just perfect, right? Magical even. There's been many signs and wonders up here, guys. We can do a whole show just about the supernatural aspects of this place. But this place has raw, crackling magic coming right out of oozing out of the trees in the land itself. Trust me. And there's whole shows to be done about that. We picked the right place. But to have such a ridiculously low budget, and I just put it out there. I made a website last year, and I said, hey guys, this sounds like a good idea, and I think maybe if we all come together, I'll have the resources to pull something like this off. And I just threw it out there, and here we are. You know what I mean? I mean, literally a year after I put the website up, we're on this mountain with, and we're doing it. And so I feel really positive about what we're doing, and we're not asking for a lot. We're not asking to build a multi-million-dollar retreat center or monastery. What we're trying to do is thousands of dollars, not millions, and not even tens of thousands, right? We're talking a very, very cheap date here to build this place out and have this place forever to be ours. And then even taxes, guys, going forward. You know what the taxes are every year in this place right now? It's like $30 a year. And then you got probably an equal amount in the HOA. So it's like total of taxes and fees to hold this land, not including the mortgage. I mean, if it's paid for, is like $60 a year, $50 to $60 a year. So again, a cheap date all the way around to get some really good functionality. We'll have a nice place. It's 2 acres. It's not small. It's going to be big enough for all the little items I want to put on here, and it will accommodate people intrepid enough to put a backpack on and a tent and come up here and, you know, like I said, you're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to, you know, eat beans and rice, and you're going to have to shit in a hole in the ground, essentially, and you're going to have to, you know, bring your own shelter and that sort of thing. But it will still have some magical stuff. We're going to have prayer wheel. We're going to have Tara's Grove, which is going to be a special little grove of trees that we're going to have for the doggies and Green Tara, where the humans will be guests, but they can go in there and meditate as long as they don't disturb the dogs, right? Because the dogs will have free reign in Tara's Grove. And you know, just little wonderful sort of things like that. And we've got the prayer flag tree up already. You can see pictures of the main prayer flag tree, and it's a 40 diameter tree. So it's gonna, when it's got a whole bunch of flags on it, once people visit here and put their own flags up, and more flags start to accumulate on the main tree, it's going to make quite a spectacle. It's going to be quite a decent size tree. We're using one of the largest sized Tara Windhorse flags that you can buy. We've got a standard flag that we're using for the tree, and they're at Amazon. Right, so let me go on with the chat. I just can't seem to catch up. How far into the show are we? Oh my goodness. So thank you, Ms. Irene, for the that's for the show, and that's definitely, if you appreciate my content and you want to make a small donation, you can do so at that link that Ms. Irene sent in the chat. Thank you guys so much for doing that. And I'll drop the tips link and whatnot in a second. And we have a merch store as well. So, and we have in-stream tips if anybody wants. So I think I reached the bottom. Yeah, we'll do a whole show on some of the stuff. But we came here during some sort of epic astronomical anomaly. There was some weird thing with the moon, and it was pretty crazy, Ms. Irene. I mean, at one point, honest to goodness, it looked like the sun was rising. But it was the middle of the night and it was moonrise. And it was just very, that was just the beginning. That was day one. That was literally day one and day two, was this weird astronomical phenomenon, like a once every 100-year phenomenon, when the moon was literally so bright that it was like daylight. It was like just plain old regular daylight. I've never seen anything quite like that in my life, I think. And I've seen a lot of moons, a lot of full moons, that kind of thing. That was just the beginning. That was day 1 and 2. So I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. Many more stories. Let me take a drink of coffee. Well, I got through the chat, guys. Thank you for everybody. So much chatting and everything. We would do a break right about now, but I already burned my break song to make sure my dogs didn't pee in the house. But if anybody has any questions or anything like that, we're gonna, please donate any bit of money that I get, and that I give full transparency on my channel. You can see already where things that people have bought us, items and equipment that people have bought us. I do unboxings right on the channel. After we'll put out the appeal, we'll say, hey, we need this item or we need that item, and then I unbox it. When we get it, I unbox it on the stream. On an episode, usually Chainsaw Hermit. I think I'm going to do most of my unboxings will be on the Chainsaw Hermit show, and that's here on the channel. Just look around on the page, you'll see the Chainsaw Hermit list or whatever playlist. And when same thing with the driveway. Like when we're going to do an appeal, the spring appeal, probably starting soon, maybe even next week. We're going to start the spring appeal. For the driveway and the walking pad, and that's going to be really pretty simple. I'm going to put out a budget. We need a wheelbarrow, we need a dump truck full of gravel, I need a couple of 2x4s, and that's it. Maybe an extra rake so I can put my friend Bone to work up here to raking the gravel, and then we're going to do videos about it, and we're gonna make the driveway ourselves. Oh, and a pipe, a PVC, a pipe that goes, a drainage pipe that goes at the front of our frontage that we have to put down so that the water will drain off. We're on a mountain, so we got to make sure we do that. But yeah, so like just a metal pipe that goes across the front of the driveway, 2 2x4s, a rake, a wheelbarrow, and a dump truck full of gravel. So and then we're gonna do all the labor. See, we could pay like 5 times more and have some guy come up here and make the pads and driveways for us. In fact, we've already met the guy who's offered to do it, right? But no, we'll do that. We'll do that ourselves, and we'll make content out of it and show you guys your investment. So whether we get the grant that Dr. Rob is working on getting us, or whether somebody else gives us a grant, or whether we just raise the money in another appeal, we're going to raise about $1,000 and do that. That's going to be our first capital project. And then in the summer, we're going to raise money for the fencing, which is really boring, I know. It's going to be really hard to get people to donate for it, so please donate to the fence fund, guys, because even just the content is going to be pretty boring of putting the fence up. But we got to get the fencing up. We got to fence the entire 2 acres. It's essential for all kind of different reasons that are very important. And so I want to get it knocked out and out of the way before I even start like dealing with the structures. And then next year, if we can just get that done this year, I'm good. And then next year in 2027, we'll do the structures, which we're going to put up a prayer hall, a permanent prayer hall, and then a cabin, a place for for me and the boys, whoever is the caretaker of the Hermitage. There'll be like a main sort of, I guess, call it the residence or whatever. I mean, technically it's a meditation hut, right? But it'll be a little bit nicer than a hut. Thank you guys for all your saying it's so cool. Thank you guys. We have wildlife up here, shall we? We do. Not kangaroos though. We don't have any kangaroos. What do we got for wildlife? So I'll just talk about the wildlife that we've encountered, because there's all kind of things up here. The Modoc National Forest is just right over the ridge, so we've got tons of stuff. But I'll talk about what I'm pretty sure has been on or near the property so far. We got coyotes. And during the summer streams, we stream outdoors at the fire ring. We did some when we first got here, and we'll do that again when the weather gets better. We'll not be here in the tent for the weekly shows. We'll be outside at the fire, and that's a lot funner of a live stream because we'll get the fire pit going. And you can. We did a few shows where the coyotes made an appearance, in the sense that they were off in the distance. You could hear them howling, and the dogs, of course, the dogs go crazy if they're right close by and howling, right? So it was quite a night. That couple of streams we did where the coyotes came by. We have brown bears, and they munch on the juniper berries. It's all juniper trees up here, guys. Huge. It's just everything's juniper, pretty much, on our part of our region of the area, and so. And they're very lush junipers. They're really nice junipers, and so the bears live off the juniper berries. And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I've never actually seen one yet, but I've gotten footprints that were definitely not one of my dogs. That looked, because bears, of course, are canine, in the canine family of animals, right? So. But yeah, and so brown bears, coyotes. Now, we have been warned. We haven't actually seen these, and I don't think we actually will. I think it would be a really pretty much a one-off. But we have been warned, officially warned, that there is a pack of gray wolves in the Modoc National Forest. So that, in theory, we could encounter a gray wolf on the property. I just actually seriously doubt that's ever going to happen. I'm trying to think if that's all the large sort of fauna, pretty much. And then we got a lot of small fauna. I've seen rabbits so far. We've got, I guess you'd call them gophers or ground squirrels or whatever. But we've got a few of them here and about. Deer. How can you not mention the deer? Oh my God, Bone! I can't believe Bone didn't just jump right in. They don't really. Hunting is not as popular here in California. It happens, but it's not as popular here in California. And they do tend to allow the deer population to get a little out of hand, because like downtown Alturas, there'll be just like a whole herd, like 30 of them, will just walk right up Main Street like they own the town. Like, traffic has to stop, everybody has to slow down, right? I mean, there's like, these deers are everywhere. You drive by and in somebody's lawn, there'll just be like 8 deers, like, munching their lawn. You know what I mean? When you drive by in town. And we're just coming out, I guess, of hunting season now, well out of it, but they spend a lot of time in town during hunting season because they know pretty much that they can't be shot if they're walking around on Main Street, right? So you can hunt them, but you can't hunt them on Main Street. So, and they know that, right? They're like really aware of it. I'm going to take a quick break. I would play a song, but I can't. But I've got to put the power on, guys. My laptop is losing power here. So just give me a second while I grab my cord. More fauna than that. What else do we got? So yeah, deer. In the bird department, it's really amazing, actually. We got lots and lots of really great bird sort of stuff up here. Everything from sort of hawks and eagles to, just, normal stuff like robins. I got a lot of I've got a lot of robins right now up here on the property. It's springtime and they're starting to, poke worms and everything. And they're really friendly. I mean, they don't fly off at all. They just sit right there and stare at you, and it's pretty cool. And then pheasants, endless pheasants, guys. And the pheasants are really funny. And the quails and whatnot. They're really funny. They'll fly in these packs through the property, like in between the trees, and they fly so fast they make this zooming sound. They go, shoo. And first time I heard it, I thought somebody was overflying me with a drone. I actually thought there was a drone up there, and then it was these little birds that They just swoop through, and then everybody wants them. They're like, they eat them, they hunt them, right? But of course, this is an animal sanctuary, so they don't hunt them here. They got a color that you put on your property stakes, purple, and then that lets people know that there's no hunting on the ground. So, what other fauna than that? Not really much. Nothing. A lot of the negative stuff that a lot of other places have, we don't really have much of. Like, for instance, bugs. Now we are near farms, so we got flies, just regular, normal, like house flies. But we don't have any. I've never seen a mosquito up here, black flies or any kind of like pestilent flying summer bugs like that. You don't need to put any bug zappers out or anything. You can sleep right out on the ground really easy. And even the creepy crawly bugs aren't really that much. I mean, I don't see a lot of the little, millipedes and stuff like that when I tip over rocks and stuff like that up here. Brown ants, but I haven't seen any on the property, knock on wood. But brown ants are a thing up here. But you just really don't have that. You don't have a lot of pestilence. So it's a very kind environment. And then you have 8 months of summer, where you can literally just lay out on the ground and go to sleep. I mean, with literally no problem at all, sleep under the stars. So it's a very, very cool place, and it still has seasons though. I mean, we just had a winter. We got kicked with a couple of snowstorms. I put pictures out. So we get the seasonal kind of thing. It's just it's nowhere near as harsh. And even the summer, while the sun is very, very strong, the humidity is only about 20%. Runs at average of about 20%. So it's enough to make do. So the plants live really nice, but not enough to make mugginess. So I know you hear it all the time, it's a dry heat. And so even at 100, you always cool down at night. Like you might have a 100-degree day. It can happen up here. You can have a 100-degree day, especially with global warming. We've had a few of them last year up here. But you will have a huge range of temperature drop. It will go down to 60. It'll drop 40 degrees when the sun goes down, and go down to 60, maybe even 50, right? And you'll be in a sweater by morning, right? Seriously, right? Because of the difference. So there's always a cool down here, always. So I think that's it. That's my fauna report. And then it's all junipers and rocks, basically grass, wildflowers. It is going to be beautiful this spring. We've had a good rainy season, so when stuff starts to pop up here, the whole mountainside will go from being yellow to being green and wild colors, wildflowers everywhere. And because we've got a really, really good rain, we got good water table, a good surface water, we'll have a bug in spring, really nice green. It won't last long because there's no more water coming, right? Once the spring comes, there's really that's kind of the rain stops. I mean, for us, it's weird, it's different, right? I mean, everything kind of grows and then just slowly turns yellow. Right now we're in the all yellow zone, right? But I mean, and the green thing lasts for maybe a month, maybe two if you're really lucky, and you get a sprinkle or two during the spring. But for the most part, it's about a 1 month phenomenon, and then everything starts to dry right back up again. But there's plenty of surface water for the trees, especially the junipers. They seem to get along really well. I mean, my junipers, my particular trees on the Hermitage property, I mean, I rate them 5 stars. I'm happy with them because it's important. And I bought this place sight unseen, but I'm really delighted with the trees. I'm really delighted with every juniper up here. We're not cutting a single one down. We're going to save them all, and we're going to plant more. I'm going to put more up here, especially around Terrace Grove and the Prayer Hall. I'm going to put more junipers up here. You can never have too many trees. And we're going to clear all the dead wood out over the next few years and make this place the trees are really much healthier if you clear the dead wood out. And that will really improve everything. The property's going to be nice, guys. It's going to be a nice place. And we go sometimes 2 weeks, but we don't even hear a soul or see a soul up here. So very, very quiet, very peaceful. It's a place where you could get up at 3 in the morning and go meditate and be able to hear a dog barking 20 miles away on the other side of the valley, while you meditate. That's how quiet and peaceful it is up here. Yeah, the junipers are wicked shady and wicked awesome. They're perfect. They're great. Wonderful junipers. Very shady, very nice. And the place where I picked in the center of the property, where I am right now, is more or less sort of in the center of the property. There was a beautiful copse, and that's what we're under right now. So I tried to think ahead of time. Even though I built the place in the fall, I wanted the main, residence to be in the pretty much in the best of the trees. So we're kind of in the best copse there is as far as shade. I kind of thought that through because it does get warm up here. So I wanted to have the best shot at that, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good spot with some really nice junipers all around us. That will provide, some pretty decent shade for this spot and other spots too. Tara's Grove, which is going to be up near the back of the property, up the hill, will be a nice bunch of trees as well. Not terribly big. I mean, I've been to the Redwood Forest and seen like sequoias that are 2,500 years old, and you can drive a car through them. So I mean, not anything like that. They're not big, no. Even by the standards of where I come from in Maine, I would not rate them as big. Medium. I would rate them as medium. But they're junipers, and they're growing in one of the things about junipers is that they're able to survive in incredibly rocky soil. In fact, in the foothills of Tibet, this is the terrain. This is what the world looks like in Tibet, guys. Is mountainous, rocky terrain with wild grass and wildflowers, and almost exclusively junipers. And most people don't know that, but if you went to most of the cool foothills places in Tibet, it would look a lot like this mountain. Wow. Well, no, they're trees. I mean, you're talking, I don't know, I want to say the biggest ones might be 50, 60 feet tall at least. We've got some old ones up here. We've got some that are probably close to 100 years old. So it is a lovely property, Shelly. There's lots of videos already on the channel. Please go check them out. And I'll keep making more to try to bring it to you as best I can. But it is gorgeous. Definitely when the spring comes. We arrived in the fall, and we had to rush really fast to put the main base camp up for winter so that I could lean into winter. And so I didn't have a lot of time to do tours. But the last Chainsaw Hermit show I put out was a really good tour of the land. That one, if you look on my YouTube site, look up for the playlist of Chainsaw Hermit, and then the very latest episode that I just did, is a really good tour of the land and describes the day we got here and like everything we sort of did to claim the land and stake the land out and everything. It's a good episode, but I give a really good walking tour because it was a gorgeous day out. It was very sunny, and I did that like last week, so go check that one out. But it's for everybody. It's not just. It's very, very important to realize that this place is beautiful for everybody, and I really do expect that anybody, any of you, even Shelley, who have some sort of opportunity to get here to the States, and come visit, you need to do that. I mean, this is what this place is for, and you won't have to pay a fortune. You can come here and do meditation and prayer, and there'll be a nice prayer hall and nice stuff. We're going to have cool stuff like a Tara's Grove and a prayer wheel. We're going to have a nice big one like that you can with like big old handles that you give it a push. And so we're going to have some nice stuff up here when it's all completely finished out with you guys' help and for the benefit of all sentient beings. Niagara Escarpment. Tiny cedars too. So it's like bonsai land, right? All these little miniature trees. Because the cedars here grow pretty big too. They're just not here But maybe when you get more towards the Oregon border, we're very close to the Oregon border, you might have some cedars. But they'll be regular sized trees too. 3 feet tall and 1,000 years old. That's bonsai. That's like straight up bonsai. That's wild. Natural bonsai trees. I love it. I'd like to have one of those. Can you imagine having a... Sis, wouldn't you want one of those? A 3 foot tall juniper bonsai? Or cedar? I'd rather have the cedar, I think, because we got plenty of junipers up here. I'd get a little 3 foot tall bonsai, natural bonsai cedar tree. I could see really digging that. We got to find out what the import restrictions are. Probably hard because this is California. They're big on invasive species, so we have to go through checkpoints, guys. They ask you if you got vegetables. I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding. California nervous. California nervous, but it's agriculture here, so we feed half the country here in California. Next 3 month Vasa for Tabara is next year. Never know, I might ordain again, but it's harder to get into the States. I'm not exactly sure what you're saying, Shelley, but I'm trying to work through this. Is next year. Never know, I might ordain again. You might take the robes again. And by again, we're inferring, of course, that you've already done this, which is a whole other wild conversation to have. It's harder to get it. It's impossible. You know, I have to, as much as I want to see every single one of you, I would recommend that nobody come to the United States right now, to be honest with you. I hate to say it. I really do. But I you know, like I said last week, I didn't vote for that. You know what I mean? And the hostility at the border, especially to our allies like Australia and Canada. But I don't know. I would go with caution and be prepared. They're like, there's a whole new sheriff in town now when you come through customs. A whole new sheriff. And yeah. So explain this, because I'm very interested. You might ordain again, which means you've already been ordained. Never know, but it's harder to get into the States. Why do you need to get into the States to get ordained? To come to the new center that they're building there, the big property? Unbox that for us, Shelley, because I am familiar with what you're talking about from last night, and I'll elaborate it for our viewers. Elton John bought a forest up there of regular height trees and cut them all down? Oh, that's tragic. Oh, that's tragic. I got news, guys. Unless it's diseased, we're not cutting a single tree down. We cut only deadwood here, exclusively. But we're not cutting, not one, and we're going to plant more. We're going to plant more, probably junipers. Because I like the whole consistent juniper thing, because it's like, again, it's similar to areas of Tibet, so it's very authentic. And now we have a mountain mastiff. Not a Tibetan mastiff. I was going to get a Tibetan mastiff, guys. That was the plan. Bruno was actually supposed to be a Tibetan mastiff. But the mountain mastiff thing came up. It just happened to come up. and he needed a home. So he got one. But so we ended up with a mountain mastiff. Both of them would have been about the same size. Both dogs go to about 180. So if we'd have gotten a male Tibetan mastiff, it would have been about the same size as Bruno's going to be anyway. But he's a Pyrenean mastiff instead. Which is still pretty authentic. I mean, so it's as authentic as I can get in America. You know how expensive Tibetan Mastiffs are, and besides, I don't buy dogs; I rescue them. So there was a lot to the unbox with that. So, but I did want to get one though. Well, great guys. We're getting near the end of the stream. Let's check the raffle and see if anybody's going to walk home with a set of Taro Windhorse prayer flags, guys. I wish I had a picture. I'll get one next week. I'll do another one of these next week. So last chance, guys. If you can hear the sound of my voice and you're already in the raffle, please bring your tab up and be ready to say hello to me if you win. because you have to do that. You have to be here, guys, and say something in chat if you win. Just say, hey, thanks, or something like that, okay? To let me know you're here. And so, yeah, and get in now. This is the last chance. So, exclamation point raffle. So, give it a few seconds, guys, before we close it out. Close the contest out. Exclamation point raffle to get in. If you're working to the sound of my voice. Shelly, I got to tell you, I'm so honored. You are clearly a very important person in Dr. Rob's circle of peeps and supporters and family and friends. And so I really appreciate you being over here because he means a lot to me. I haven't even begun to talk about what Dr. Rob means to me, but I found out about him when he was still a monk, and I had just decided I wanted to become one. And he was very reinforcing to to help me with the idea of thinking that I could be. Do we have 5 entries? I'm going to look, Miss Irene, but I believe we do. I believe it'll be close enough no matter what I do. There's the bot helping me out with the link again. Guys, let me go over here, and I'm also going to get the tips, guys, if anybody wants to leave a tip. This is the stream. Oh, oh, shit, I don't even have a chat window. Oh, my goodness. How do I not end up with a chat window for my own show? I got a chat window. I can see your chat. I just can't chat back. So now I got to go find a chat window. Huh. Well, maybe nobody's ever left a tip anyway. I don't have a chat. Oh, there's. Alright, there's the tips, guys. Dr. Rob does have a YouTube channel. He's actually got quite a lot, much larger audience than I have. And I don't know, Shelly B, can you shoot a link for Dr. Rob? If he shows up, it shoots one. The robot will shoot one. But can you shoot a? Let's see if Shelly will help us out and shoot a. Oh, there it is. Okay, there we go. Anyway, here's the merch store, just out of an abundance of some really nice merch, guys. I personally think some very nice merch. So give that a check out here. Put that in the chat. And now, let's see about the raffle. Oh no. Okay, that's right, I gotta hit the refresh button. Forgot about that part. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. I love you all very much, man. It's so much funner to do this show now that I'm not completely audience free, so. Alright, let's see who we got in there. We got 3 in there, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it. This week will be an exception, guys. Anybody, though, we'll go a couple more seconds more. If you want to get into the raffle, guys, type in exclamation point raffle. Please don't be shy. We're nice people. You can talk in the chat if you've been working all night. I mean, odds are somebody's been working because we got more viewers than we got chatters. So get into the raffle, guys. Exclamation point raffle. Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. This show airs every week, every Saturday, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. And then don't forget that watch the social media feeds and watch my YouTube feeds. I'll be scheduling the special broadcast for the 10th, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. We will be live streaming the monks in Washington, D.C. as they complete their walk for peace. Okay, I don't see anybody else getting in. I'm going to close the entries. And we're going to pick a winner. Good luck, Irene. Good luck, Shelly. Good luck, Weeble. Weeble, you win all the time, man. I'm sorry, but I don't know if I'm rooting for you. You've already got two wins under your belt. Oh my God. Here you go. I'm pushing the button. Shall we be free? Yes! You won. Cool, cool. So, shall we? The bot is about to shoot you instructions in the main chat. Please just follow that, and we will get that right out to you. Yep. And actually, somebody far more reliable than me handles that. My sister does all the shipping for the prizes, and she's just much more diligent about everything. So she'll definitely make sure you get it. Congratulations, Shelly Be Free. So glad you came. So honored that you came to my stream tonight. Really am. To have any of Dr. Rob's peeps come over here and be interested in what we're doing is a great honor to me. He's a great man. I really love him, and I'm very anxious to start collaborating and working closer with him, especially on Sangha related stuff. I think we have a lot more in common than more people would realize. Right? Because then everybody thinks it's a setup, right? You know, isn't that what we used to say? Anybody ever done game streaming? Because if that happened in game streaming, everybody would put the word "fix" in the chat. You know what I mean? That's what that is fixed, right? That's I've seen that where you've got a regular audience and one guy win, but one guy is bound to win a string, because if you do them every week, especially like I used to do several raffles when I was game streaming. I would do several raffles per show. I gave away a lot of swag in game streaming, and you would see people that would just have, it's just the luck of the draw, right? It's random, right? But you would have people that naturally are going to have winning streaks, right? So they might win 2-3 weeks in a row, and they walk away with prizes, man. And people are like, fix, rigged, it's rigged. You know what I mean? That was another one they throw in the chat, rigged. They even had an emoji for rigged, actually, in game streaming over at, I used to stream on Twitch, right? So they have a Twitch emoji that's rigged. They call it rigged. But everybody love you. I think I kept up on the chat. My sister isn't like upset with me, so congratulations to Shelly. Thank you. And bring anybody you can to come over here. And I'm gonna be right back in one of Rob's streams. If not tonight, I might run out of electricity tonight. I don't know. It's looking sketchy up here. Like I said, cloudy day, but if I can find Rob streaming again tonight, I'll be over there. So expect me if he's doing anything over there tonight. Expect me over there. I love his community. I love his streams, and I love hanging out with you all. And I'm so glad some of you came over here to hang out with us. And I'll keep dropping the links in his Discord and stuff like that. And me and him are working on that collaboration that we talked about. I'm still in communication with him on his on text message, and we're working through that whole program that we sort of unboxed yesterday, of trying to get some help up here and get some grants going and stuff like that, and even just collaborating with Rob, because I think it will help raise awareness to what we're doing over here at the Hermitage. So right on, everybody. So that is the end of the stream, guys. We have come to the end of the evening. I have a wonderful closing song, so don't go away, but please, we're going to give you the blessing. My knucklehead co-hosts, this is the one time. Now I promised, who did I promise? I promised somebody. I'm going to have to move the camera, guys, so this could get jiggy. But I promised somebody a puppy shot, and we didn't do that, so we're going to have to do that. Let me see if I can make this happen. Anything could happen now, guys. I moved the tripod, so there he is, but you can't really see him. There's no light. Hold on, let me put a spotlight on him. See if I can put a spotlight on him. He's out like a light, guys. That's the puppy. There's Zavy, right next to him. And there's Zand. Zand's my little black boy, my little black ball. But that's him. Look how long he is. He stretches across the entire width of the queen size bed, man. From tip to tip, he's gigantic. He's twice as big as Xander already. That's wild. And he's just a puppy. So there you go. I fulfilled my promise for, I think it was Irene, to do a live puppy shot. All right, so everybody have a wonderful week. I'm going to do the blessing now, like we always do. So, may your week be auspicious, and dedicate all your merit to the monks walking for the Walk for Peace. Dedicate prayers to them all week long if you can, guys. And please, please, please mark it down and try to tune in. Subscribe to the channel and watch my social media feeds for the live stream. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It would be wonderful to hang out with you guys while this history unfolds and watch it happen with you guys together. I'd love to do that. So keep an eye out, and may your week be auspicious, and may you be blessed. See you next week, guys.
Step by step, there's a hush on the highway at first light. Golden robes moving into the day. Bare feet meet the cold of the ground. Every step says what words never say. No spotlight, no crown, no throne. Just the weight of the will to go on. And the world is pulling near, but they breathe it out, release the fear. Step by step, we walk for peace. Step by step, may anger release with a flag held high, not a fist in the air. Step by step, we're learning how to care. Step by step through the hurt we've known. Step by step till compassion feels like home. I see the miles in their quiet eyes. Meditation in motion, no disguise. They don't run from the pain they meet. They bow to it softly and move their feet. The road keeps asking, how long can you stay? They answer with silence and walk anyway. It's not about fixing the world tonight. It's about keeping the heart upright. Step by step, we walk for peace. Step by step, may anger release. Golden robes in the morning flame. Step by step, no need for fame. Step by step, with nothing to prove. Step by step, this is how we move. If I slow my breath, if I feel the ground, maybe peace isn't lost, just drowned out. Maybe it starts where my feet are now, not someday soon, but somehow now. Step by step, we walk for peace. Step by step, may anger release. May the wounded rest, may the hard hearts bend. Step by step, may compassion mend. Step by step, till the noise grows thin. Step by step, let the quiet in. Step by step, we walk for peace.